What's going on, everyone? My name is Christopher Jones, and welcome back to another artist review. I am very excited and at the same time also honored to really do a special artist review on this guy. Obviously, today is the birthday, or would have been the birthday, of the late great Christopher Wallace, aka the Notorious B.I.G, aka Biggie Smalls. Obviously, I chose today because I felt that it would be very fitting to really do one specifically dedicated on his birthday. But honestly, before we get into this, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Also, check out my other artist reviews where I've done background reviews and also music reviews on so many different people, from Tupac, Biggie, Eazy-E, Metallica, not yet, System of a Down, Avenged Sevenfold, which wasn't really the best episode, and some of it was because of my editor, so water under the bridge. But I've done a lot of other artist reviews on so many other different people, especially in hip-hop. But honestly, I felt that today would be specifically dedicated to Biggie Smalls. So, without further ado, let's get a cracking, shall we? Now, for those of you who do not know, his name was actually Christopher George Latour Wallace, born today, May 21st, 1972. But sadly, he passed away March 9th, 1997 in Los Angeles. Known professionally as the Notorious B.I.G or Biggie Smalls, was an American rapper and songwriter rooted in the East Coast hip-hop and gangster rap traditions. He is widely considered one of the greatest rappers of all time, and personally, he is one of the three kings of hip-hop, with Tupac and Eazy-E. Wallace became known for his distinctive, laid-back lyrical delivery, offsetting his lyrics' often grim content. His music was semi-autobiographical, telling of hardships and criminality, but also of debauchery and celebration. Wallace was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. In 1993, he became the first artist to sign with Sean Puffy Combs' Bad Boy Records and gained recognition for his guest appearances on other artists' singles. His debut album, Ready to Die, which came out in 1994, received acclaim and included successful singles such as Juicy, Big Papa, and One More Chance. Ready to Die made Wallace the central figure of hip-hop, of East Coast hip-hop, and helped restore its prominence at a time when the West Coast was dominating the genre, such as Tupac, Death Row, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, stuff like that, so on and so forth. In 1995, Wallace was named Rapper of the Year at the Billboard Music Awards, and with his protege group, Junior Mafia, which included longtime friends like Lil' Kim, released the album Conspiracy, which was her album. While working on his second album in 1995, Wallace became embroiled in the growing East Coast-West Coast hip-hop rivalry, including a feud with his former friend, Tupac Amaru Shakur. Afeni Shakur was, after Shakur was murdered in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, September 1996, rumors circulated suggesting that Wallace might have been involved, given the two artists' feuds, because in 1995, Tupac was shot in the Quad Studios in New York, and he didn't know who did it. He didn't know who set him up, especially with a new song that just came out on radio called Who Shot Ya. So it's like with disbelief, with so many like strange shit going on and the timing and everything, it really became hard to really think clearly of who did it and why. So a lot of fingers all start pointing at Biggie and Bad Boy and Puffy. Unfortunately, it is false. Actually, no, it's not unfortunate. Fortunately, it was false. It was never Biggie's fault. Because really, the people that shot him were the people that completely set him up during the rape charge. I can't remember his name, but fuck him, we're not going to even mention his name. But all you gotta know, it most certainly wasn't Biggie. In March 1997, 6 months after Shakur's death, Wallace was killed in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles by an unknown assailant. 2 weeks later, Life After Death, which came out in 1997, was released as a posthumous album. It debuted atop the Billboard 200, yield at the Billboard Hot 100 #1 singles such as Hypnotize, More Money, More Problems, and received Diamond certification by the Recording Industry Association of America. 3 more posthumous albums followed: Born Again, which came out in 1999, the duet Final Chapter, which came out in 2005, and The King and I with his widow Faith Evans came out in 2017, which I heard it. It is a spectacular, great album. It is very emotional, and it was very well worked on. You know, because the back and forth, like musical work that they both done, it really fit, and it was a beautiful project. I personally loved The King and I. It was a great piece. Wallace certified U.S. sales exceeded 28 million copies, including 21 million albums. Rolling Stone called him the greatest that ever lived, and Billboard named him the greatest rapper of all time in 2015. The Source named him the greatest rapper of all time in its 150th issue. In 2006, MTV named him at #1 at their list of the greatest MCs of all time, calling him possibly the most skillful ever on the mic. In 2020, he was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But unfortunately, a lot of things has happened despite his criminal past, drug dealing and all that stuff. He really put all of that stuff behind him so that he can really achieve greatness. So, granted, he's made mistakes. He's dropped out of high school. He sold drugs. He's had a criminal past. I mean, but he was not perfect. He was skilled, but not perfect. But we're not here to judge Biggie's past, his deeds. We're here to judge the person that was reformed into one of the East Coast's greatest rappers. And in my opinion, I think, by personal opinion, he is the king of New York. But that's just me. Christopher Wallace was born at Cumberland Hospital in Brooklyn, and Wallace was the only child of Jamaican immigrant parents. His mother, Valletta Wallace, who died in 2025, was a preschool teacher, while his father, Selwyn George Latour, was a welder. At the age of 5, he began attending preschool at Quincy Lexington Open Door Day Care Center, where he was already bigger than most of the other children. 3 months later, Wallace's birthday, his father left the family, leaving his mother to raise him while working 2 jobs. He grew up in Brooklyn's Clinton Hill, near the border of Bedford and Stuyvesant. Stuyvesant? I don't know how to say that. That's weird. As a child, Wallace spent most of his time on Fulton Street, where he was introduced to drug dealing, alcoholism, and gambling. Raised as a Jehovah's Witness, Wallace attended St. Peter's Claver Church in Brooklyn, graduating from the Parish Elementary in 1982. He excelled in English at Queen of All Saints Middle School. He attended Westinghouse High high school, a public school attended by several future celebrities, including Jay-Z and Busta Rhymes. There's a whole lot of stuff, but you guys can completely look up all that stuff on your own. It is all right there on his Wikipedia. But he did grow up listening to black artists like Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye. And even the Dramatics, Blue Magic, Teddy Pendergrass. And he was introduced into Parliament Funkadelic, Earth, Wind & Fire, Kool in the Game, and Cheek. But he also got into Run DMC, LL Cool J, and he completely became like absolutely mind blown by the different forms of hip hop. But honestly, after Ready to Die came out, he married Faith Evans. He did have sexual relationships with Lil' Kim as well before he met Faith. So obviously, he's made mistakes where he was sleeping around a lot. He had kids with 3 different women, I believe. One was Janet. I mean, I'm going by some of what I know and some of from the movie. But obviously, he also did collaborations with people like Michael Jackson. And honestly, I think it was a great single that he did with him. But he also did songs with Bone Thugs and Harmony. And obviously, Jay-Z and so on and so forth. The list really goes on with how many people have really worked with Biggie. But honestly, let's just get into the music, into his albums, such as his debut album, Ready to Die. Let me just look for it real quick. Fuck. Yeah, now, obviously, Ready to Die was his debut album, and it had a lot of like really big, successful songs. And it was released September 13th in 1994 by Bad Boy Records and distributed by Arista Records. The album features productions by Bad Boy founder Sean Puffy Combs, Easy Mo B, Chuck Thompson, DJ Premier, and Lord Finesse. But obviously, it had a handful of absolutely great fucking songs on it. Like, it fucking had like really huge songs such as Juicy, Big Papa, and One More Chance. But in my opinion, I would personally say that Things Done Changed. This one was a really good song because it sampled off of Dr. Dre's music as well. From the, I think it was called Little Yellow Boys or something like that. But he even had like incredible like rhyme styles, even on songs like Give Me the Loot, Machine Gun Funk, and Warning, which is personally a great fucking song. That one really shows off his dope gangster style and his flow. One More Chance, which became a very big fucking like emotional song. I think it was great. The What, featuring Method Man, which I never even knew he was on it when I first heard this album. And then you got Juicy, which was sampled off of a different song. Everyday Struggle. Okay, so obviously Who Shot Ya was one of the biggest songs, and personally I think it was also one of the dopest that he's released since Give Me the Loot. I think that this one and Warning and Give Me the Loot are his most dopest fucking songs on the Ready to Die album. But honestly, he did a fucking final song called Just Plain Dreams. This one was actually pretty funny and it was actually enjoyable as well. But obviously, that album absolutely fucking skyrocketed his career. Like, it absolutely changed everything for him. And Biggie became one of the biggest names in New York. But because there was so many things that completely went downhill, all throughout those years, everything just completely changed, from marriage issues, cheating, feuds, tours. Everything was just completely, like, overwhelmingly piling on top of him, including since before Ready to Die came out, his mother also had breast cancer, which she did beat, and she got a graduate degree or something like that. I can't remember what it was. But obviously, it's like with so much going on, a lot of things changed for the best and also some of the worst after Ready to Die came out. He was talking about his friendship with Tupac and how they were really close to one another, did videos together, took pictures together. Obviously, these two were fucking, they were practically hip-hop brothers. But because of the Quad Studio shooting, the attempt on Tupac's life, the murder charge, or not the murder charge, the rape charge that was stacked against Pac, everything was just like overwhelming on both of them. And it got to a point to where when Who Shot You played on the radio while Pac was in prison, it raised a lot of suspicions in his head, to a point to where he thought Biggie was responsible. As soon as Pac was bailed and signed to death row by Suge Knight, everything completely got verbally ugly, to a point to where, as you already know, Tupac wrote a song called Hit 'Em Up and released a handful of more songs completely aimed at Biggie. And it even got to a point to where he bragged about fucking Faith Evans, and that really escalated everything for the worst. After that, Pac's death, but obviously a lot of things happened right after. But after Biggie passed away in Los Angeles in 1997, his debut album, Life After Death, came out. And obviously, one of the biggest songs was Somebody's Got to Die. Hypnotize, which was the biggest song ever on his playlist. I think it's still number one on Spotify, if I'm correct. Maybe. I don't know, but that's what's playing in the background right now. It is the instrumental of Hypnotize. But he even did songs called Fuck You Tonight featuring R. Kelly. I Love the Dough, which was a very good song, and it even featured Jay-Z. More Money, More Problems featuring Mace, Puffy, and Kelly Price. Niggas Bleed, and I Got a Story to Tell. Now, here's the thing. This album was not just a posthumous album, but it was a double album. And so it completely had Notorious Thugs featuring Bone Thugs on disc 2. And then another featuring Lil' Kim, Going Back to Cali, which was one of his other biggest songs, 10 Crack Commandments, Sky's the Limit, which is another great fucking song. And then Long Kiss Goodnight. And finally, You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You. That was the last song on the album. And obviously, Ready to Die will always be number one. For Born Again, I would give that one a 7. Life After Death, I would say that Life After Death is most certainly a 9. There were some songs that I did skip because they were just, I wasn't really feeling them all that much. But obviously, despite the fact that he only released 2 albums, it really proves one thing, that Biggie will always be the king of New York, even after his passing. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what y'all think, and I will see y'all in the next video. Much love to Biggie. We miss you.